This training video is to show you how to complete an incident in perspective. So the last video was we created an activity. The activity had all the involvements, persons, organizations, vehicles with pictures, items with pictures, all the attachments that we had. We had different angles of the fall. Again, this is a training activity, training report. So we included many things into one report. And again, it's just for training purposes. So it doesn't have to really be consistent with just one type of report. One important thing about activities, all activities must stay at level 2. So when you go to controls, access level must stay at level 2. When you're done and you had it completed, you're going to save it. You're going to hit create incident, and it's going to take you to the incidents section right here. Automatically it sends you over here, and as you can see, it says new incident. It hasn't been assigned a number. You haven't been assigned anything yet until you click save. But before you click save, you got to fill out some of these red areas that are mandatory. So again, we're going to put our time of when this happened. I am just using the up and down arrows. You can type it in there, just giving you a different way of doing it. Classification, it is a training report, so we can scroll all the way down this drop down menu, or we can just type it in there. For departments, you can see there's many different types of departments all over the campus. For now, we're going to use security. And this section over here where it says specific location, this is where you want to go a little bit beyond what you put right here on the campus. So for this, I'm going to just use so you can see this gives out a better explanation of the exact location. This says that it happened outside, but this says exactly where outside. Once you have this information completed, and then you have a 945, and you need to add some more details as far as injuries, if you scroll down, you go to the flag section. So when you have the flag section, you have here injury. All of them say unknown. You leave it unknown unless you're sure of something happened. So, for instance, this person that fell had an injury. You're gonna select yes. If you know that we had a situation where there was a definite weapon, whether it was a knife, a bat, a gun, firearm, or anything like that, you're gonna click here and you're gonna select yes. So this is just showing you, again, this is a training report, so I'm just gonna select a few of them just to show you. If there was an arrest made, you can click on yes there. There is another section to check a box of arrest. But here is a flag. We can search by flags, so that's why these are important. If you definitely have a 945F and the person was injured, you have to select yes. Once you have everything selected in the Generals tab and everything correct, you click on Save, and now you'll see that where it said New Incident, now you have an assigned number to that incident that is now linked to the activity that we had before. So that activity was 3564. Now I'll go back to my incident, which is 831, but it's now linked to that activity. So once you're done with the general tab, you go to involvements. As you can see, everything that we did in the activity got passed on to our incident. We had all of our organizations, persons, all the vehicles, even the pictures, items. They're all there. All the attachments are there. So when you clicked and you created your incident, everything got passed down from your activity to the incident. And you must start it that way to avoid going back and taking extra steps. So we checked our general, made sure it was complete. We verified that everything got passed down from the activity into the incident. Let's just say that, for instance, we made a mistake and we included this, but this was a mistake. What you're going to do is just select it. So you're going to select it so it's highlighted. Click on remove. Are you sure you want to remove the selected item? Click yes, and it deletes it for you. So you go back and save it. So in case you made any mistakes in the activity, here's where you can go and correct them. Persons. So this was the wrong complainant. I'm just going to remove that person. And now you just have the victim and the other victim. Again, this is training purposes. You can have a victim, you can have a complainant, you can have a suspect. And this is where you choose them. So let's just pretend that this was the suspect. And we don't know their first name, we don't know their last name. And it was an older lady that fell. So she's not really the suspect. We're going to go back and just keep her as the victim. But for instance, let's say this was a 916 or a trespasser or somebody committing a crime. Then you can choose here on the checkbox where you can indicate that they were arrested by police. So you select arrested by police, you save it, and then again on the generals tab, you had a section arrest made, yes. So back again, involvements. For training purposes again, we're saying that this person was arrested by police. We check that box there. So we know that everything here is completed. Our narrative, we should have only one narrative there. And this narrative type was the one that was created by dispatch. So if you double click it, it'll open up and it'll give you all the details that dispatch entered for you. Any type of notes. Again, this is for training purposes, so we didn't put any notes. Usually dispatch will put any kind of indication or any kind of notes that you give them when you call them on the radio asking for this report. So now it's time for you to add your own narrative. You click on add new. You're going to have to put original narrative. If you are doing a narrative on a report that was already written and you're doing a supplement, then you would choose supplement. If you have any other type of narrative that you need to add, you can check with your training officer, you can check with your supervisor to make sure that either we call it a supplement, an original, maybe a supervisor's note, it all depends. But usually you're just going to use the original narrative and a supplement to somebody else's original narrative. So again, for this instance, we're just going to say it's an original narrative. Then you click in here and you can start typing depending whatever your report is. Again, this is a training report, so we've added some aspects of a fall, of a 932, of a vehicle accident. So I am not going to do a video right now on how to write a narrative. So for now, I'm just going to put test. That way you guys know what it looks like. If there's anything you can do, you can highlight it, you can delete it, you can copy, you can paste, you can do. This is almost like a Word application. So make sure that when you're here, not only are you typing your narrative, but you're checking. Try to make it as cleanly and as easy to read as possible. Do not use codes here. Don't say QRU. The person fell, but she felt QRU. This goes to administration. This goes to risk management. This may even go to lawyers. Lawyers have no clue what QRU means. So do not put codes here. Make sure you use regular language that anybody can understand. The person fell down, but she stated that she felt okay. She didn't feel QRU. She felt okay. So again, I'm just going to leave test. We will do another report or we'll do other things to help you how to write your narrative. You have all your attachments here. For this instance, we're going to say that the elbow was part of another incident. So we have all these pictures here. If you're on the picture section, if you right click it, it'll give you the name of that picture. So I right clicked it again and it went back to picture. So I go to files and I know it's the elbow and I am going to remove this one because I made a mistake and that person's elbow is for another report. Remove. You sure you want to remove it? yes. I'm going to click save. Once you're done with this, you're going to go to controls and you verify that everything is correct and everything is completed. Again, you go to controls, you're going to go to reviews, you're going to add a review, and you're going to put an officer author review. You're going to select your time, your date. So just for instance, I'm writing this time here. By you signing that you reviewed it, you're stating that you reviewed everything and that you know that everything is in there. So if you're reviewing this, and every officer should be reviewing their own um, incidents, you are telling your supervisor that you reviewed it and that you made sure that everything is in there. Even if you forgot to sign it, you should be reviewing it. But every incident should be reviewed. You're stating now that you reviewed it and that you know it's complete. So it shouldn't come back for incomplete um, any parts of the incident. Once you have created your review, you go to details, access level, and you're going to send it to your supervisor. You change it to level 3. Just know that once you save it, you can't make any changes. So if you're not sure, you can select it. You can go back and make any changes that you need. You can add more persons, more organizations. You can go back and change your narrative, edit it, add extra notes, whatever it might be. Once you're done again, it is at level 3, and now we're going to save it. Once you save it, it is at level 3, so you can't go back and change anything anymore. You might be able to see it, but you will not be able to edit it. If you need to change something else again, you need to contact your supervisor. They need to bring it back to a level 2. When they drop it down to a level 2 and they save it, now you will be able to make changes. Once you make your changes, once you make your corrections, then you're going to do again the same thing. Raise it to a level 3, save it, and your supervisor will have it on their queue to make sure that they do their own review before they send it to a level 5. If you have any questions on any of these incidents, please ask your training officer, your supervisor, your lead officer. You can ask someone if you're not sure. Doesn't mean that we're not going to help you. You need to learn how to do these things, but if you need help, please ask.